Hello and welcome to another Red Gaming Tech a Gaming News video with myself, Amata. Today is the 4th of April and I actually have a little bit of sad news as Disney has shut down LucasArts, who of course is a publishing arm responsible for many classics over the years and also of course a few duds. A LucasArts representative confirmed the news in a recent statement to Game Informer, saying, "After evaluating our position in the games market, we've decided to shift LucasArts from an internal development to a licensing model, minimising the company's risk while achieving a broader portfolio of quality Star Wars games. As a result of this change, we've had layoffs across the organisation. We are incredibly appreciative and proud of the talented teams that have been developing our new titles." And saying about the people who have actually been let go from the arm, about 150 people have apparently been laid off according to the website Kotaku, and they also claim, according to a source, that both of the studio's products have apparently been cancelled outright, which of course are Star Wars 1313 and Star Wars First Assault. However, a Lucasfilm rep has said that the projects may be rescued via a licensing deal with an external developer. And they said, "It's worth noting that we are looking for proven external partners who can help us provide video games to our fans. We still believe in the video game industry, we will still provide Star Wars games, we're just looking at different models rather than internal production. They're evaluating everything. There's always a possibility that Star Wars 1313 can still come out via licensing." So, the future of Star Wars 1313 remains very unclear at this point and doesn't seem to be looking very bright and sunny by any stretch of the imagination, as unless some external developer decides to take it under their wing and finish the development, we probably won't be seeing that game at all, or anytime soon at least. So hopefully someone picks it up, as that game did look promising and it might actually be a return to form for LucasArts and the Star Wars games, as there have been a few dud ones released over the last couple of years, but it looks like that probably most likely won't happen. It's not exactly a surprise that this has happened, while it is very, very sad, especially for the people who have worked there for so long, and for us gamers as well, because while LucasArts have had a troubled last few years, they did bring us lots of classics that we enjoyed as we were growing up, or perhaps as adults and looking back and playing those classics again, or for the first time. You know, they have given us a lot of quality games, and it's a real shame that this has had to happen, but I don't think anyone is really surprised by this, given the run of bad luck that they've had lately. Star Wars The Force Unleashed, while it had success, Star Wars Force Unleashed 2 is regarded to be terrible by a lot of people, and that series seems to have died on the vine, and of course the Battlefront series has pretty much had the same fate. And of course there was Star Wars The Old Republic, which was reviewed well, but obviously didn't actually do that well in terms of the subscriber rate, and of course was eventually forced to go into a free-to-play business model. And obviously Star Wars games overall just haven't really made much of an impact over recent years, and neither has their other big franchise, the Indiana Jones games, with the exception of the Lego Indiana Jones series, which was not actually developed by LucasArts. But the interesting thing is that games that were obviously based off, or at least inspired by, the Indiana Jones films, such as Tomb Raider and Uncharted, have both done really, really well, especially the recent Tomb Raider reboot, which obviously many people regard to be a very good game indeed. As well as all of this, the head of the company, the management, it just seemed to be going on a revolving door, with one person leaving and then another person would come, stay for a couple of years, and then they would leave. And one person in particular left before even finishing the game that he had been working on, and that was Clint Hocking, who actually led the Far Cry and Splinter Cell franchises at Ubisoft. So yeah, they've not had a very good time of it of late, and it's a real shame that this has had to happen, as I said earlier, but not exactly surprising, because to be honest, as much as LucasArts have given us classics over the years, both developed in-house and just published by them, they have pretty much become the Star Wars guys. That's pretty much what all they seem to be doing, is milking the name of Star Wars and basically putting out games to further rinse a pretty well rinsed series by this point. I always agreed with Yahtzee when he said beating the giblets that were once a dead horse when it comes to the games of the Star Wars franchise, and to be honest that seems pretty apt. Although of course he wasn't saying it with a straight face, but still, it is a fair point. Star Wars has been pretty beaten down in terms of the amount of games and so on released for it, and that might have been one of the reasons that LucasArts have kind of met this fate, because the Star Wars games were kind of their biggest games, and recently they haven't been all that big, especially with the colossal failure that was at the Old Republic. So this is a real shame to have happened, but hopefully the people that have been let go from the company can find themselves a job in a better company, a company with a brighter future, and that Star Wars 1313 can still see the light of day, even if it has to be developed by an external developer. I'm sure most of us would prefer that to the game never being released at all. Anyway, as always, I do want to hear your thoughts and feelings on this. Do you think this is a bad thing? I mean, obviously you think this is a bad thing, but what I mean is, do you think that anything could have been done to prevent it? Did you see this coming? Are you surprised? You know, what are your feelings on this? I want to hear from you guys, as I always do. Anyway, my thoughts go out to anyone who's lost their job because of this, that I know that feeling. I'm sure most of us know that feeling, and it's not a very pleasant one, especially when you're going to be so personally connected to the projects you're working on as you would be with the games development company. So my thoughts do go out to them, and hopefully they can find themselves something better with a brighter future. Anyway, that's me done for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.